Nice to see you back again, and here I am. As I promised before that I shall be back, but I just kind of got all entangled into a lot of different situations that kind of took away my time, where I wanted to sit and concentrate and think about one particular subject on which we can focus. But in a world where things are happening at a much faster pace than I had anticipated, would have happened because of the cosmic transitions that is occurring all over the universe, where Jupiter, the big planets like Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune and Uranus and all those big time planets, people, the cosmic planets which influence people a lot more than the little planets that move around. So those huge planets have moved and shifted, and Saturn has moved after a good 30 years, 30, and that's the only time that Saturn actually moves. So 30 years back, Saturn had moved, and then 30 years later, Saturn has moved again. And this time, Saturn is sitting in a place which is his own house, and that is in Capricorn. So, Saturn, as I know and I have studied, and I believe also with all the experiences that I have fathomed so far, which may just be a little drop in the ocean, But in my knowledge, I have assumed that Saturn is the greatest taskmaster, which means Saturn is the teacher, and he is slow. He is not like the other planets who go around in a couple of years and change houses and change places. Saturn goes around once in either 29 to 30 years, between that time frame. So this year, Saturn has moved, or rather it was the end of last year that Saturn has moved and then went retrograde and then came back again to his own house, which is in Capricorn. Now, Saturn being in Capricorn means a lot for the world, a lot for the 3D. Because Saturn is a taskmaster, as I said, and he will influence people to correct themselves, to correct their ways of thinking. And he is going to attack people, even the global situations, things which aren't working anymore, things which have stopped working for people, and yet we still go pushing on that, thinking that sometimes the wheels are going to roll and we are going to roll with it, but not knowing that, this is a point of stagnation and a pattern that has been created where you move from one to the other, but with no changes happening in between, neither for yourself, nor for the situation, nor for the circumstances that have come up with it, So therefore, Saturn moving into Capricorn, which is his own house of comfort, has created a lot of upheaval in the cosmic world, which is again directly affecting all of us, Now, you may wonder why I'm talking about the cosmic planets and all the situations that is going on in the cosmic world. I'm not an astrologer, but it's my study that has influenced astrology to mean a lot for me. So therefore, I realized that cosmic and planetary positions and changes in the cosmic world does affect us. So therefore, a lot of people are going through the period of transitions right now, where a lot of things that they have thought, the belief they had instituted for themselves, whether it's in their relationship, in their marriage, in their professional work, in their academic field, in wherever they had thought that this is the place or this is what I'm doing is the right thing for me. Now, Saturn having gone back to his own house, the whole thing is turning upside down. So transitions are happening, people are breaking down, people are growing, but people are growing for their highest good right now. So what Saturn basically is doing to people is making them go down deep into the mud, and then we'll dig them back again as a new human being. And if that happens to you, don't get scared, because you will have to face the challenges that is happening at this point in time, and according to my understanding will continue for the next couple of months, maybe a year, depending on your planetary and natal chart position as to where you're standing with Saturn right now. So therefore, don't get scared, but just take the challenge with you. um, Feel the challenge in your relationship, feel the challenge in your personal life, in your career. If there is a boss who is dominating you, who has been unkind to you, who has been not a generous person to you, and you have felt bogged down for a long time, and a lot of times it has happened that you wanted to quit and you wanted to say, okay, goodbye, I don't want to see you tomorrow. But because of the attachment you have with the job, and also your finances and things like that, you have to pay your bills, you have to do this, you have to do that, it is not letting you go to the extent where you can quit and leave. So now is the time, if you think that this particular situation is not working for me anymore, I'm not being happy in that particular area of my life, and I want to move into something better which could be rewarding for me at the end, please do that, because this is the time of transitions for a lot of people, whether it's a small transition of moving from one place to the another, or it's a big transition of moving your relationship from one phase to the other, or departing from one relationship and entering into a new relationship, or departing from a bad marriage into a new situation where you feel empowered and you feel the urge, that I can do it. I know, because I can tell myself that I can do it even though I'm single and I don't have a partner, and whatever it is from there, So this particular time phase is very important for everybody in the cosmic world. It's happening for a reason after 30 years. So I basically believe it's my calculation, and many of you might agree with it, might not agree with it, but in one lifespan, your mortality rate could be from 0 to say 70 or 0 to 80 or whatever the time frame that you are going to live here. Within that one time frame, you will have one period of this correctiveness, this one period where you can say to yourself that I need to correct myself, not because I want to please that person, not because I want to please my partner or my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my children, because I want to please myself. Saying that to yourself. If it's a bad marriage situation, for example, and you have been living in an abusive relationship where it's abusive, you have recognized the abusiveness for a very long time, but the fear of leaving that abusive relationship has made you stay in that relationship for a very long time, and that has made you unhappy. That has not given you peace. At the end of the night, when you go to sleep in your bed, you have cried on your pillow. You have soaked the pillow. So therefore, if it is a situation that you have had to deal with an abusive. Now, when I say abusive is not just physical abuse. Abusive behavior in marriage or any relationship could be either physical, emotional, or financial. Any one of the three could take a toll on you, So therefore, if that is a situation you have right now, for any one of you guys listening out to me, please make it a point to correct the situation. In case you feel that situation cannot be corrected and you do not have that the leeway to correct the situation, please walk out of the situation or try to correct the situation, because that's what the cosmic transition is happening for. So now this spiritual part of cosmic world and the 3D is connected. So what I'm trying to say here, that everything in the spiritual world and everything in the real world is connected. We think it's not, many a times we do things. So for example, I do something for my kids, and I turn back later and I tell them, oh, you are in this position, it's because I have contributed to your education. I have done this for you. I have burnt my hands to cook the good food that you eat every day. I have tired out my legs to run for your school or your other activities that I have done. It's because I have done that you are where you are today. Most of the times we as parents tend to tell children this, but in reality that's not the case. You haven't done anything. It was your karma and his karma, or your karma and her karma, that were linked together. And in this portion of the lifetime, in this little phase of your life, you were supposed to enact your karma. That person had to take and you had to give. But again, when the give and take happens in any relationship, the give and take has to be balanced. Now, here is the cosmic world that comes in when the give and take is not balanced. So when the giver and the taker are not working together in harmony, the cosmic world steps into the scene. And this is a time of the correctiveness. This is a time when abusive behavior, when bad relationships, when fakeness, anything that is not right for anybody is going to have a breakdown. It's going to shatter, it's going to break down. You are going to go through a hard phase. People are going to go through challenges in life to kind of endure those hardships, because breaking off a relationship or moving out of a home or moving out of a job is not as easy as I may tend to sound. But at the same time, if that is done, and you need to do it because you can feel that in your heart. Your heart gives you the noise, that little ting 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 noise that comes from your heart tells you that what I'm doing right now or what is happening right now is not the right thing. And the cosmic world is influencing your thoughts to believe that you could be a better person, or you need to be a better person only if you have the goal or the freedom or the courage to walk out of that particular abusive situation in any kind of circumstance. So this is a spiritual message of the cosmic and the 3D that I had tried to tell you in very simple words, how things are related. So when one person meets the other person in a lifetime, in a journey, and many a times you may not meet the person again, but many a times, say after a gap of 20, 25, 30, 35 years, you kind of just bump into the person again. And you guys take off from there. Now you think it's a coincidence. You might think, oh, I haven't met Mr. X. And then 30 years later, Mr. X comes, Or the other person thinks, oh, I haven't met, Miss X. And 30 years later, I happen to see her or meet her, and we take off from there. You think it's a coincidence. That's a normal human tendency. But according to my understanding, no coincidence. What I try to say is there is nothing called coincidence. There is no coincidence in life. Everything happens for a reason, and there is a purpose behind that reason. So your chance meeting with your colleague, or your chance meeting with your ex-boyfriend, or your ex-lover, or your anybody from your past, the blast from the past, as we say. You think it's a coincidence, but according to me and my understanding, nothing is coincidence. So therefore, the cosmic world and the 3D, they're all linked. So we belong to both the world at the same time. We belong to the cosmic, which is the 5D, and we also belong to the 3D in the physical state, which is the Earth or the planet here. So right now, what I would like to tell you guys in this particular video, after which I will come to many other things that you might want to hear from me, is if you think any situation is not really kind of making you happy, you're not feeling the joy, you're not getting that peace, that serenity, just try to correct that situation in whichever way you think is right for you. It could be breaking it off, it could be trying to mend the situation, trying to stitch the situations together, or having the courage to live your own life, be the person you think you can be. Have the courage, have the freedom, because we all have the wings, and we don't want to use the wings because we are so scared that if we fly, and we might get hurt, we fall and we get hurt, and then, there's nobody around us to pick us up. But at the end of the day, we are all alone, whether you're married, whether you're single, it doesn't matter. We are all alone. So therefore, use your wings if you have them still clipped onto your back, and which I'm pretty sure you still have them. Use it, make time to get your wings out of their little the shoulder blades, and try to flutter them and see how it feels. Feel the wind fluttering through your wings, and that will give you the sense of freedom, that will give you the sense of encouragement, that will give you the sense of being competent and independent, because everything that you are today is because of the two world that is being linked through your heart and your soul. So spiritually spiritually you are connected, and physically you're connected. So when both the connections work together in harmony, you are going to be what you want to be. With this, I end my topic today. I'll come back again, guys, I promise, really. Just bear with me if I'm a little bit out of sync right now, because again, as I said, the transition is kind of probably taking my time as well, but doesn't matter, we are always here in touch, whether it's through the virtual world, through the spiritual world, through the cosmic world, whichever world you want to say I am and you are in, we are always in touch. So enjoy yourself and be yourself, be happy, be contented, and do the right thing, because the cosmic situation is asking you from the bottom of your heart, from the root of your foundation, to do what you think is right to do right now. This is the time, this is the era, the little the little square circle that you are entrapped in, and you have the little time right now. Make use of it. Go out of your way, flutter your wings and fly, guys. See you soon again. Take care and have a nice day. Bye.